So back to what I was saying about this is part of the short documentary. I think this is part three. I'm going to use these test shots as part of putting together documentary pieces. So this is just raw footage, and yes, it's very real. And what I was saying was that there was this bitch. You guys got to know what happens when you have like house Negro and plantation Negro as in the black family and the black community. So you guys have to know what the dynamics are. And I'm just coming across an intersection right now. So I'm just going to pause for a bit and just cross the intersection. Screw it. So I'm on my way to actually park, and gotta look straight ahead. Gotta be aware of my surroundings. Some people are talking on their phone and boom, they get hit by a car. I don't do that shit. Because I think about our family in Congo. And you know what? For those of you watching from Congo, just know that there's some of us in the global economic north. We know what's happening, and we don't support a lot of the consumption stuff that leads to, for example, displacement of your villages and your communities. Your communities are our communities as well. And, your suffering is our suffering as well. So I'm just crossing the street. See how some of these places are planned. So, as I was saying, I was in BC, and BC is very ecologically rich. There's green everywhere. There's places where I was, it was actually the air quality was like eucalyptus. It was very fresh, and your lungs actually opened up. Like you felt like you could just run up the mountain, like 1,000 times. But there's a lot of druggies in BC. People walking around smoking, and I don't do that shit. I don't do marijuana and all that. Kids, if you're gonna smoke, you eat the ashes as well. And if you can't eat the ashes, then don't fucking smoke. And we were in BC, and I was in BC, and I was profiled by the police. And I'll tell you, have some these people in the black community, the black family, they're house Negroes. So I'm from the plantation, they're from the house. So the ones from the house thought it was funny to actually try and attempted murder the plantation. Now, this is how fucked up these dynamics are. So because my background is Canada, Jamaica, all of West Africa, and Nubia, say, okay, you know what, I'm going to get in touch with my diasporas, and I want you guys to see some of this garbage. I'm going over to this park right now, and it's a nice little park. It's quiet sometimes, and just filming the rest of this little short documentary. I think there's 3 parts to this, and just showing you some of the shit that happens in Toronto. Now, if you don't see the shit in Calgary, I'll tell you. See this? There's a courtesy to the pedestrian. Pedestrians have right of way. I don't know why you would park like this. People are pretty stupid around here. And, you could talk in utopia, and I'm quite capable of doing that as well. It's not an issue. But, stuff like this, like look at this garbage, right? So, our family members in Congo, Thailand, Philippines, where else? Jamaica. Where else? I'm trying to think if I had a picture of the planet. But Caucasians drew this line to say there's the north and the south part of the planet. That's not how we understand that reality. So everything below this equator line down here, all those countries, that garbage, we know that it goes to your region. And they have this thing where people who are up here are better than the ones down here. And you know what, that's not true, because currently I live in what they call here, which is the global economic north. And I see a lot of the stuff that's done to the global economic south. So Our position is to take the position to say, no, wait a minute here. You have to think about the South first before you think about the North. There's just a lot of different things that are done. And in this little short documentary, it's just to get people to start thinking about what exactly are you doing and what exactly is your purpose. And, how does your action contribute to better social norms? There's a lot of violence in Ontario. I live in a community, and it's really interesting to see like all the violence, how it's perpetuated by social planning, policy, and just arrogance. And Caucasians, like for example, a lot of them going on holidays and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, really? That's nice. And I'm like, show them the community shit like this. When they come into your place, our place, you know what? Run them the fuck out. Because you know what? They cause a lot of problems. And it's not just Caucasians, but it's that dichotomy related to the black and white binary. That's what I focus on. Other people focus on other things. Go read their stuff. But, there's this dichotomy, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's incredibly violent. And how do you actually, litigate dichotomies in adjudication centers? I'm not sure if I can actually take video footage down to the courthouses, because they have these scanner things. Like they make things more than what it really is. And when I was in BC, I walked right into the courthouse. There's like no security, nothing. And you know what? I sat down and I listened to the cases. And I remember I was in this one case where there was a corrupt officer from the RCMP. And this is why I like what Stephen Harper, our Prime Minister, is doing. Because I was reading somewhere that he was taking the position to not renew sort of funding something related to the RCMP. And I was like, wow, that's some serious stuff. And it was this RCMP officer, very arrogant, and he was up for charges related to saying that these people from India were conspiring to sell some kind of drug. And when you look at this guy, like, it was a black judge, and this cop was a black cop. And if you ever saw how this black guy looked at the black judge, I thought, you know what, he needs to be shipped to fucking Texas. Because you know what, you could see that he just hated this judge. And I sat there and I was like, wow, look at this. That's pretty disrespectful. But I got my knowledge from Black USA and also Critical Thinking Canada. And then, of course, the way I conduct myself comes from the Spirit of Jamaica. So I connect all these diasporas and realities, whatever you want to call them, and say to myself, you know what? I've come a long ways, and I'm going to continue to show the shit. I'm showing you this card, this health card. It's actually a credit card for physicians, biomedical physicians. What exactly? I have 6 minutes left, so just try and summarize the short documentary. When you have a little card like that, what exactly is a model of health and care when the care leads to violence? And it takes me a while to kind of think of this stuff, because it's like it's so disgusting, it's not even funny. And I'm thinking, should I even do a video or a short documentary about the racialization of medicalization? And it's really, really disgusting stuff. Like, it's just, I have to get these texts first of all, and I'd like to actually show you the text that I'm drawing upon first, and then integrate it into the, I don't know if you want to call it an analysis, but just basically show you my starting position is to say, okay, historically, what exactly is a conceptualization of medicine if it leads to violence? And, you know, I have this experience with different um, biomedical practitioners, that's what I call them, because that's what they are. And what they do is they are into biology, medicine, which is really pharmaceutical stuff. And there was some racial profiling elements there where, for example, I was in this place and there was one black male. He was actually in this place since June of 2000. And I just watched how they treat this black male. Caucasian, Indian, even our own black. And I looked at these people. I said, what the fuck is this? I looked at them. I phoned the RCMP from where I was. You know what the RCMP said? They're not within the jurisdiction to arrest. Peel Region Police. I said to myself, what the fuck is this? How many people have actually died in a place like this? You see people, they take a gun and they go boom, boom. They blow off somebody's head. But they do it another way. These murderers. So why aren't they getting after them? I like going down to this courthouse. And you know what? I said I'm going to spend at least once a week there. Because I want to go see how these practitioners function. They're not the only practitioners, but they deal with murders. And when I went down there, I thought, okay, it's just one murder. It's just one black murder. Constant. Just constant. Black, black, lists of black, black, black. All these dead black children. So what the fuck is this? So it put something into this context for me. And I have 3 minutes left. And it just made me realize that I need to get in touch in a different way, but do it in a way that's going to be very helpful to the black community. So I'm going to produce these little short documentaries, and I'm not sure what the title of this one is going to be, but what I'm going to do is, I think I was going to call it Random Musings. Short documentary, random musings in relation to medicalization, urban planning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this documentary and I'm going to take down some notes and come up with a title. So maybe I'll just call it Untitled Short Documentary. Thanks for watching, and you know what, your comments are appreciated. So just be very frank, and I'll be very frank with you as well. And I try not to be disrespectful, but if you do come across as being ignorant, then I just always put it back to things being an educational experience. All these seagulls are coming around. Look at them, all coming around. People just throw shit wherever. Look at this urban planning. I have 1 minute 56 seconds. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to sorry, I have to hold the camera up. I'm not actually going to rush myself in my thoughts. I'm just going to speak my thoughts as they come, because that's the best way to do it. I hate to mention this guy's name, but Tom Cruise, they actually said that he doesn't read any scripts. He actually is dyslexic, and what they do is they actually tell him, they give him a synopsis, and then he just role plays it. So that's, I'm going to take that position to say, okay, I'm just going to speak from a synopsis and, take things from there. Thanks for watching. Look forward to your comments.